Welcome back to the Blackwater Cantina. It's just me and Robin. We've got a nice little booth in the corner this week. And we're going to talk to you about some winter core since there was no app update at time of recording, which is 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it. I've got the app open, so I'm just checking it for constant updates and going.
Yeah,
Just
so
in.
I want to see what these
Aaron,
NIST do, but
what have
no
you
luck
been
so
painting
far.
this week?
Just airdrops and objectives. You know how you have to paint all the different arms and stuff on your war jacks.
Yeah,
I haven't even got to that yet because I've been painting all the like airdrop weapons and stuff like that. And those my mini factory objectives for the grave diggers, and a second set of steamroller scenario defenses, the regular ones.
nice. You need to grab some of
Yeah, I
those
haven't
myself.
got much to show off this week really. I've been pretty quiet on social media.
I also have nothing to show this week because I haven't done
Yeah,
anything. I'm just having a little bit of a break. Work's busy and all,
yeah,
so
well deserved for you, I think.
yeah. So, where should we start off with Wintercore?
Should we just go down the list, start with the casters, I suppose?
Yes.
So I've got all of them, but you've only got a couple, haven't you? You've got Zahara and Boris.
Yeah, I've got a I think it's a 50 point Jack heavy list that I run with Boris. I use the
Yeah,
hounds
that's the way to go with
and
him.
yeah, and Jackal, and I've not had a bad game yet.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got basically the assassin
Oh yeah, no,
stuff
I'm
in Khador.
definitely going to be talking about Boris. So,
Scenario attrition. What's that? We're just going to kill Lacast.
do you want to start us off with
Okay.
the good old Captain Lectrina?
Yeah. So we've got Capitan Ekaterina Baranova. She's like the spellslinger warcaster for Khador.
Mm.
Um, it's kind of obvious with just her first two abilities. She has long shadows, which means when a living enemy model is destroyed by an arcane attack while in their control range, she gains a focus or fury point. Focus because she's a warcaster.
Yeah,
And she has Field Marshal Arc Node, so straight away it's telling you that she's going to be killing things with spells.
yeah,
um, she has 16 health boxes, speed 6, arcane attack 7, which isn't amazing, but it's pretty solid for a spellcaster. Doesn't need to be that high, as we'll see later. She has Mat 6, Rat 6, which are both fairly decent. Defense 15, Arm 15, which are kind of squishy, but pretty standard for Khador Wintercore
yeah.
casters, with a couple of exceptions. She's Arc 7, Control 14, and she has dual attack and immunity cold. So that's her standard profile. She's not standing out as being like a melee or shooting
No, she's like a mixed
warcaster. It's
bag
just,
for like your basic caster.
yeah, it's pretty standard baseline for a Khador warcaster, even
Mm.
in Mark 2 and 3. 15 is the average, really. Her weapon, she has a blade pistol, which is like a pistol with a little dagger on the front of it, like a bayonet. That's Rat 6, range 8, rate of fire 1, and power 10 with a pistol. So just so he has a main range weapon, is not going to do much, to be honest. She has a blade, which is attached to that pistol, which is range 1, power 10. It is magical, though.
Mm.
And then she has the little axe, which is pretty cool. It has Dispel on it, range 1 and power 12, also magical. But if she's in combat, you're not having a good day, really, with
No.
those defensive stats. Um, where it starts to get very interesting is her feat, which has been nerfed. It was probably one of the most powerful in the game, still pretty strong. Enemy models / units, which means if you just tag one model in a unit, the whole unit is affected. So you can affect things up to like, rather than her control of 14, it can tag things like 16 to 17 inches away as well, if they're in units. Um, so these affected models suffer -2 speed, cannot charge, cannot make slam or trample power attacks, and when a friendly model in her control range is targeted by a ranged or arcane attack, the attack suffers -2 range. So it kind of buys you some time, protects your army,
Oh, of course.
controls the opponent a little bit for a turn.
Yeah, and
I
that
believe it was -3 range before, or
yeah, it's been nerfed
-4
down to
range,
-2 range.
which seems a little unfair given how many other range reduction things there are in War Machine right now. This is the only way Khador will get hit,
Yeah, but it
and it's
allows
on a
you.
feat. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it also gives you that time. Just well, even though you get -2 range, it gives you enough time to set up for like control taking and that type of thing. I would
yeah,
assume.
it's pretty painful playing into this with Khador with your speed 4 warjacks and short range guns.
Yeah.
There there is like a sweet spot where you can't walk and shoot or walk and attack anything
Mm.
with the slower jacks. So it's pretty powerful anyway. You get kind of a shooting alpha, and then your opponent doesn't get to hit you back for a turn, or not very hard at least. Her spell list is Banishing Ward, which removes enemy upkeeps from a friendly unit and makes them immune to spells for a round. Actually, as long as it's upkept, it's an upkeep spell.
Mm.
Gallows is an offensive spell, cost 3, range 10, power 13. When any model is hit, so it doesn't have to damage, just hit, it can
Yeah.
be pushed d6 directly towards Gallows' point of origin, which is, I think, a lot of people are pretty familiar with that.
Yeah.
Um, it always rolls the one when you need it. Everyone knows on the d6, so you just put it 1 inch and you need two or whatever. So yeah, if you are using this to try and assassinate or drag something out, you need to manage your expectations. You're not going to get six all the time, but it is a very powerful spell for that. And then sort of her bread and butter and what she really offers your army is this last spell, Invocations of Wrath, which is cost 3, range self control AoE,
Mm.
lasts for a turn. And while in the spellcaster's control range, friendly faction models gain additional die on attack rolls. So that's a feat level ability that she can do every turn.
Mm.
This is like Lilith one's feat. You discard the lowest die in each roll, so it's not boosted. It's just skewing your average. Um, yeah, so it suddenly makes a lot of your average rolls quite reliable.
Yeah.
So you want to take stuff with her that pumps out a lot of attacks, like Mana War suppressors. They're probably the main thing that benefits, and the shock trooper gunners with their sprays. They can have very high damage, powerful sprays, and you can make sure they land. It's not very good for crit fishing because you have to drop the lowest, but it does push that likelihood a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is she's just pretty powerful and buffs everything equally every single turn that you need it.
I was gonna
She can
say.
just cast this in camp, and she'll be offering a lot to your army,
Mm.
especially with defeat, giving you an extra turn of shooting with this bonus. So she's a pretty powerful caster, and with a control range of 14, that you can just stand at the back and have your front line 14 inches in front of her and getting boosted, well, additional die minus the lowest on all their attacks. It's ranged, magical, and melee attack rolls, any attack rolls. So she's just a really good all round, kind of like Vlad one used to be with Sans Importance.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's funny that you
Um,
mentioned the Man of War suppressors and all of those bits because they do come in the same box as her. So that's just a bit.
yeah, shocking that, isn't it? She also does like to have a lot of magic users in her army because of this Long Shadows ability.
Mm.
Um, when enemy models are destroyed by arcane attacks, it doesn't have to be her own ones. So it doesn't necessarily mean she's an offensive spell slinger, throwing spells to her out nodes or anything like that. You can just get off like Zaria uh, Volgova.
Yeah.
She has offensive spells. Even the Arcanist support unit, they have Razor Wind, so they've got 10-inch sprays, which actually get pretty solid when you have the extra additional dice to hit. And also Damien Korovnik, the mercenary Golden Lord.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's quite a lot of things you want to put in her list for that reason. I tend to take Arcanist, Damien, and Zaria with her. And then, like I said, you can. I actually, 1 second. I just need to check. This isn't just warrior models. It's all models, isn't it? Yeah, friendly faction models.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could take grinders, for example, or heavy chain guns on your warjacks, and you're getting loads of accurate attacks.
Mm.
And sprays tend to be very good with additional accuracy because
Not
they
because
ignore defensive bonuses as well.
I've personally not had a great deal of well, great deal of success with chain weapons when it comes to, especially with shooting with my Khador as of lately. But that's probably because I
The
don't
heavy chain
have her.
gangs, you know, the direwolf arm as a
Yeah,
chain
yeah,
gunner.
yeah. I've not had
Yeah,
much success with those, so I try and leave them off.
yeah, they're not as good as the grinders. I think the
No,
grinders feel a lot better, but anything with volume fire is always good, isn't it?
yeah.
Um, okay, I don't know if you have any ideas what you run with her, or if you played
Because
against her.
she's all like an all round like good thing. Like you said with the you'd want to run her with like I don't know AC2 Bastion. I think would be quite good with her.
Oh yeah, it is actually. That's a really good one to
Oh,
take
sorry, the
because it's
Bison.
only
Sorry, not the Bastion. Sorry, two different games.
yeah, the
Um,
bison. Yeah, it has very powerful range attacks, but it's only rat 5, so it's really good with her getting there. It's
I'd run
one of the
that.
only ways you can improve its accuracy.
Maybe a mortar team if you're running with your enemy having -2 to range because you're going to be able to shoot through that storm.
Yeah, yeah, you
Um,
definitely can. That's one place you could actually use one of those. Yeah,
yeah. Maybe a couple of sniper teams, like again, like you said, with the shock trooper gunners and the man of war suppressors.
yeah. With the sniper teams as well. If you take the hunting dog, it has marked target, so you get an
Yeah,
additional +2 to hit. Which, if you really need it, you can hit really high
and
defense. Then
it turns the
the mastodon's
snipers
really good with
for
her.
yeah,
Grinder
Mastodon.
fist, either of the shoulder mounted weapons. Not electric bombers, that's Signa. The deep freezers or the heavy cannons, all
Yeah,
of them are just really good shooting, and it can't boost all of its shots. So with this spell, you can just up its accuracy a lot, and the crits on the deep freezers are slightly more chance going through.
I'd potentially also take the jackal with him just to kill jacks. Funny name,
Yeah, and his
jackal.
crit
Yeah,
stagger is pretty
just
nice.
because of his a lot of his stuff. Even if you're not pumping out the criticals, because we have talked about him in
Yeah,
great depth on the old Umbre channel.
yeah,
The other episodes we've done, the critical damage and the brutal damage on it would be much affected from her ability from her feet.
yeah. I tend to want to take a high volume of attacks because it boosts all of them.
Mm.
Where like if you have like sort of fewer higher value attacks, they're still getting the benefit, but I don't know, it just seems a bit less. Something
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it's
You
I think
def-
it's just
she
because of
doesn't have any way
the
to increase the power on shooting, so
no.
it is good to have high power ones. So that's a very fair point.
I'm
We
very
should just
annoyed. Sorry, not annoyed. I was going to say I'm a little bit upset that you didn't, when you say just missed the middle of the her weapon profile. Not saying the doomsayer, but
oh,
that's just me
oh I didn't want
personally.
to say doom.
I don't know.
We probably should mention the spell list out of the rack as well before we
Yes.
go too far ahead.
So she has rack slot 3.
Yeah, she does. That's one of the nicer things about her as well.
Mm.
It, I feel like there's often times when that third one makes the game a
Oh
lot
yeah.
easier for you. So the Kato Rack is Avenging Force, which is when a friendly faction warrior model are damaged by an enemy attack in the spellcast control range during your opponent's last turn. During your maintenance phase, one model in your spellcaster's battle group in its control range can advance 3 inches and make one basic attack, which is amazing just for the extra 3 inch move. You can
Yeah.
just your opponent has to play around all your jacks being 3 inches faster because although only one gets to move, you choose which one is the best one, so they have to factor it in for all of them. It's a really powerful spell. I think it's quite common in Mark 4 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to rat this one almost every game because you have a quote unquote slow faction with speed 4
Mm.
jacks, but you have a lot of ways to extend that, and this is one of the best and like least easy to protect ones.
I was
Plus the
gonna
extra
say.
attack, you can even shoot as well.
Yeah. I was gonna say the next one I
Um,
use quite regularly, which is the fog of war.
yeah,
Is just because models gain concealment whilst in the spellcaster's range, and
If you're playing
using it.
Zahara and Boris often, they both have Prowl.
Yeah, so you kind of want to use it to just hide your models, and it's upkeep as well. So why not?
That's the saddest thing about it to me because it's a self upkeep and so is Avenging Force.
Yeah,
So usually it just doesn't make the list. Like with Zahara, she wants both these spells so badly, but she can't
yeah.
have them both up. So I think sometimes you do just rack both, and you just have to,
Oh, you just got to roll the
you
dice.
know, you have to switch at the right time, which is quite a tricky thing to do with her.
Mm.
Since Avenging Force needs to be up the turn before you need it. Yeah, but Fog of War is a nice spell. If you come up against shooting army, it just protects everything. The other reason I'm not that keen on it is because you tend to be low defense across the army,
Yeah,
especially on the Warjacks and Wrecking Crew and Suppressors or Defense 10. But yeah, it is a pretty decent spell. We both love Sorcerer in Mark 3, and she made good use of it. But yeah, the main use is triggering that Prowl. So all the SKS 6 stuff loves it, and the Snipers, pretty high defense as well. They like a bit of concealment. Next up, we've got Freezing Grip, again from Sorcerer Evolved. Target model unit without resistance cold becomes stationary from 1 round. It's range 8, offensive spell. It costs 4, which is pretty prohibitive, but it's a pretty powerful spell, so it can't really afford to be less. I think she's one of the only ones who will actually rack this, Baronova,
mm.
because she has access to Arg nodes and nobody else really does. I could see using it with Vilkul for the assassination, but she has other ways to reduce defense anyways.
I know this is really evil, but if you're using this, say, against a phantasm, and you go, yeah, that's not moving for a whole round. I know
The
it's a
saddest
cost.
thing is that it can just shake it.
Oh, that's annoying because
Stationary
that.
can always be shaken, yeah. It's always most powerful on units because they can't do anything about it. They just get stuck with it. Apart from the put the fires out card,
Yeah,
I think they're just stuck with it. It's a lot less powerful than it used to be in Mark 2 and 3. But yeah, still a solid spell, especially with Baronova. Next up, you got Khador Classic, staple of the faction Iron Flesh, which grants +2 arm and resistance pass to a friendly model/unit, where it used to only be uh, warrior models or units. Now it affects everything, so
yeah,
huge change for Khador in Mark 4 that you can put Iron Flesh on your Warjacks. It's very nice.
yeah. No, it gives it that extra much needed defense going from. Just off the top of my head, I'm sure we're going to cover it in a minute when we go through the Warjacks, but I'm pretty sure it's 22 is the armor. And that's
Yeah,
including
it's
the
20
shield.
mostly, but you can have shields. So yeah,
Yeah, so shield putting it to 22, now putting it up to 24, so it's actually quite a nice buff.
yeah, it's very nice. And the fact that those, like, not all of that armor can be ignored by Blessed, only the +2. So you're still at 22,
Yeah.
which is very solid for the faction. Um, we've got Puissance, I believe is how you say that. I always want to say it with a French accent. It's like Poisson,
Croissants.
which I think is fish in French. This is a range 6 upkeep spell. Target friendly model/unit gains +2 to its melee damage rolls and its melee weapons gain feedback, which pushes the enemy models 1 inch directly away, and then you move 1 inch towards them.
Mm.
So that's pretty powerful. It's just +2 melee damage buff, really. The beatback can come in handy in some situations. But, yeah, it's just a +2 damage buff. It's the only damage buff we have on the rack, and it only affects melee in a faction that wants to shoot quite a lot, although it does have its places.
Mm.
Specifically with Tatiana and Yana, seem to rack this one a lot. Um, yeah, it's pretty solid. So you can get your jacks hitting really hard with power 21s. We have Razorwind, which is kind of just there for theme. It's an offensive spray 10, power 12, and it has essentially crit amputation, where if you crit a Warjack or Warbeast, you fill up the unmarked damage boxes in that column or branch. I don't think anyone's ever going to rack that, to be honest, but
No.
it's there. I feel like they just have 1 or 2 like themed choices in most of the racks.
Mm.
We've got Return Fire, which I don't think I've ever racked either.
I have
I might have
actually,
done in
and it
like
has been
early games
successful.
with Boris. Yeah. Um, okay, so what it does is a target friendly faction model is targeted by an enemy ranged attack. After the attack is resolved, the affected model can make 1 basic melee or ranged attack, then return fire expires. Lasts for 1 round, so it's not an upkeep. but someone shoots you, you get shooting back essentially. So you want to put this on something like the Bison, or uh, it interestingly doesn't have to be a battle group model or a warjack. You can just do it on any model. So
Yeah.
I know you like the Jackal. He's got a pretty powerful weapon that could shoot back in the opponent's turn. I can't think of many others.
I think I've used it on the sniper team before, just because if in case they get picked up, if in case Fog of War has dropped off, then they get the ability to fire 3 rounds. Like it's essentially 3 shots in that turn.
Um, but you have to be shot yourself and then survive it. So
Tough.
I don't know about that one. Boris can actually put it on himself, which is really nice because his gun's very powerful.
Yes, yes, it is.
So there's one use for it. I can't think of many other guns off the top of my head that you might want to use it on, where the model isn't just going to die to being shot itself.
Mastodon.
Yeah, Mastodon definitely could take it, but yeah, I don't see why not. To be honest. Next up, we've got Superiority. It's another Khador staple. Target friendly faction, extra large base or smaller, so no Mastodon. Uh, Warjack gains +2 speed, mat, and defense, and cannot become knocked out. So your heavies or lower,
Yeah.
you don't have anything lower. It's literally just your direwolves and yeah, great pairs and characters. But yeah, it's a really solid um, Warjack buff. You get accuracy, defense, and speed, which is everything you need because you hit like trucks anyways. Um, this is crazy good with Yana, who makes her jacks already more accurate and faster. She gives them +2 speed and that with her conferred rage. So I use this to get massive threat ranges with her. The defense doesn't seem to matter too much because most of your jacks are defense 10.
Yeah.
But a direwolf is 11, goes up to 13. That's not bad for a warjack, to be honest.
No, no, it's really good.
It's just a really solid spell. Everybody who plays Khador will know it. Next up, we have Tempest, which is cost 4, range 8, AoE 3. It's power 12 for everybody in the blast, not just the single target. Um, on a direct hit, models hit become knocked down, so it's automatic knockdown. It's kind of like a setup for assassination tool.
Yeah.
You might see it with Baronova, but I doubt anyone else is really going to take it.
No, I was gonna say, I don't
And
think
then,
I've seen anybody take it.
yeah, finally, we have World Secrets, which grants Pathfinder and Prowl to a model/unit. That's pretty powerful with, well, it's pretty convenient for an army that doesn't have a lot of Pathfinder and has very slow models.
I was
Um,
just, oh, sorry.
we have lots of Man of War that are speed 4 and don't have Pathfinder, and most of the Warjacks are speed 4 or 5 with no Pathfinder. So this is pretty necessary to have in the rack just in case, but I don't seem to take it very often, to be honest.
I don't think I've ever
I make
used
do
it
with the
so far.
card. You wouldn't because you take Boris and Zahara, who have
Yeah.
Boris has Field Marshal Pathfinder, and Zahara has Razor, who has Pathfinder, anyways. So you don't need that one. But the Prowl actually is quite nice with both of those. If you're bringing Fog of War a lot, you
Yeah.
can put it on one of your units as well. So you can have like stealthy Man of War if you really wanted to,
Call
running through
myself a big
forests.
boys.
Yeah. Okay, so should have done that first, but that's the rack out of the way. And then we
Yes.
can move on to one of your favourites. Do you want to cover Boris?
I gotta butcher the name of this, but it's Captain Ilari Boriskis. Borisk. But I call it Boris
Ilari
because he's
Borisiuk?
sort of Borisyuk. But yeah, I call him Boris because it's easier. So he's starting off with health
Yeah, most people.
16, which is very good, I think, personally. He's speed 7, attack 6, mat 6, rat 8, defense 16, armor 14, arcane of 6, and control of 12. And he has got Pathfinder, um, arcane perception, field marshal, Pathfinder, prowl, and reposition of 3 inches. So we all know
It's a
what we
whole lot
love.
of nice stuff for a sniper, man.
Oh, he's so good. The
He's really, really
reposition,
mobile with speed 7 and reposition 3. You can shoot where you need to and then get out of the way or back into
yeah,
a
yeah.
forest to trigger your prowl.
Um,
And then
so
arcane precision is if he doesn't move, he can ignore stealth. uh, and clouds. Yeah.
It just makes it so much better. So I'm just going to go through spell rack slot before we go into the weapon profiles. So feet
Okay.
versus Howl of the Wolf. Sorry, I got to pull my phone closer so I can actually read this. When in Boris's control range, model in his battle group gain boosted range attack rolls. When a model in Boris' battle group destroys or removes from play one or more enemy models with an attack while in his control range, after the attack is resolved, one other model in Boris's battle group can immediately advance up to 2 inches and make one basic attack. The model can only advance an attack as a result of the Howl of the Wolf once per game. Howl of the Wolf lasts for 1 turn. I've used this quite a bit in conjunction with Fog of War, just because they can't see me. I can shoot everything,
Yeah, that's what Boris likes to do.
and then go
Yeah,
surprise Great Bears or Direwolves. It's my favourite play.
just got a bit of a buff last January. I know we're a bit late on covering this now, but the boosted attack rolls, it's boosted range attack rolls specifically, but it used to only boost the additional shots that you got from the feet, but now it just boosts all of your shooting for your battle group, which is awesome.
It's
As we
also
covered with Baronova, having boosted on all of your shots is really, really nice.
mm, it's also really good for assassination tools, which I'll get into in a minute.
With
Um,
him himself, yeah.
yes, we're him with himself. He's got two slots, two spell rack slots. So he's got Dark Unraveling. It's as at area of 6, cost of 2, range self, AoE control, duration turn. Dark Unveiling, while in the spellcaster's control range, the weapons of models in the battle groups gain blessed and damage type magical Dark Unraveling lasts for 1 turn. I don't tend to use this too often.
Really, it's amazing. It's kind
It's
of what makes things for me.
I think it's because I will take Fog of War and just go, everything's concealed now.
Just you don't need it every game. That's the
No,
thing. But
I will try it in my next
you
game.
come up against. Well, it just depends if you need it or not. Really, like if your opponent has Fog of War,
Mm,
it doesn't actually do anything. But if your opponent has deceleration or deflection, it's amazing because you just ignore it. I remember playing against Cynthia with him, and she racked deceleration, so she was spending 3 focus turn to give everyone +2 armor against shooting, plus upkeep and arcane shield, and you can just
mm.
pop this whenever you need it and ignore all of those bonuses. It's amazing. Also, the
Yeah,
magical comes up sometimes, but yeah,
I
you just ignore all
yeah, no,
defensive
I'm gonna have to use that
spells.
from now on.
Yeah, you just need to see if you need it. You'll know, like if your opponent's like stacking armor buffs and stuff, or got like a control area armor buff like deceleration, it
Mm.
just gets you through that.
The other spell
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
very powerful when it comes up.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
The other spell that we've got is Veil of Mist. I have used this one. It's 6, cost of 2, range is control, duration's upkeep, and Veil of Mist. Place a cloud effect template anywhere completely within the spellcaster's control range. The template does not block friendly faction models' line of sight, while in the template, friendly faction models gain Pathfinder and can move through obstructions and other models if they have enough movement to move completely past them, which is really it is one of my go-to spells, just because if I can't take Fog of War, I'm going to move through models and through obstructions
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's really nice. This used to be on Malakhov too in Mark Three. I used it to
Mm,
like walk through a wall and assassinate someone before he has backstab as well. It tends to just be a 3 inch cloud for me a lot of the time, but
mm.
being able to see it through it with your own models and keep Boris safe is some extra nifty stuff that you can do. There's a lot of utility you can do with this, being able to move through obstructions and models, um, especially on a guy with speed 7 and reposition 3. So you can walk through your front line and reposition back through them behind the cloud without needing a tactician or anything.
I it is one of my favorite spells, just to go. You see me now, you don't.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of necessary for him as well to have a card when he's got prowl, so you're not
Mm,
dependent on terrain or fog of war.
you're
He
really
always
not.
brings a way to trigger his own concealment if he needs it. His own prowl. Yeah.
Um,
Um, get on to the main bit then.
yeah, so starting off
Uh,
with the blade, it's mat 6, range 1, power 10.
That's
It's
very
it's an
impressive.
it's an
I'm scared
average
of him
blade.
now.
And then we've got my favorite, because I won't shut up about it, is the Shadow of Death, which is personally the best weapon I've come across. The three armies I have,
Yeah,
or
it's a lot
the
of fun.
four armies of for War Machine I have. It's Rats 8, range 14, rate of fire 1, power 10. I can't remember what the sword is. Sword symbol is.
Weapon Master,
Sorry, yes.
Weapon Master and Magical.
I
Yeah.
always want to say Master Crafted, but that's the wrong game type again. But
Traitor.
yes. Attack type. So it has two. So you, sorry, three of them. So you pick one of these at the beginning of each time you fire it. Critical armor piercing on a critical hit when calculating damage for this weapon. Half the base armor stat for the model hit. It's one of my favorite ones to do if I can get it off. Just for the
Yeah,
pure facts that if you have especially a high armored warcaster, you are just taking them down on the second shot.
yeah.
Um,
It's particularly nice on his feet turn where you get all of your boosted
oh yeah.
attack rolls to trigger the critical. You save yourself some focus. It's really nice.
So
It's very
flare.
tempting to use that a lot.
It really is. Flare. On a direct hit, model hit by this attack loses stealth and suffers -2 defense for 1 turn, which is also very good as well. Then you've
Yeah, I
got
feel like this should be the most common one you use with him. You just, if you can avenge and force him, get him into position, then he stands still and aims,
mm,
flares a model, and then you press your battle group that are all loaded with guns because that's what he needs for his feet. They can all shoot it as well.
oh yeah,
So he's just like an accuracy buff. He obviously lowers their defense by 2 and removes stealth. And he has reload, so he can do it to 2 models.
yeah. And then you've got grievous wounds on a direct hit. Model hit by this weapon loses tough and cannot have damage removed from it for 1 round, which is also
Yeah,
really nice.
yeah. When you need it, Grievous Runes is really nice to have.
It
Um,
So when I first was starting playing with Boris, my favorite thing was they had a upgrade card it was a card that you could play, and basically it gave you an extra 2 inches of range. So you're going from 14 to 16. Plus his feet on
yeah,
top of that, you're going to 18 inches of range, and it was just my favorite assassination tool.
yeah. Plus he's speed 7. You can't
Yeah,
hide from him. Well, you can hide, but you can't run away.
yeah. And if not, I'm going to come through a building and shoot you. But yes, I
Have you got any like glory stories of what things you've murdered
oh
with this sniper rifle?
I've talked about
Just
it
everything.
before. It was with Mike. So it was, I think it was my second game of War Machine coming back into Mark 4. Me and
Yeah,
Mike were playing, and I just managed to get Boris all painted up, and obviously took him with me. And there was a gap, so we actually had to get the laser rangefinder to see if this shot was legal. Because it was between two buildings that were like this. And I was like, I can see through
yeah.
that gap, and Mike was like, you can't. So we got it out. The laser just perfectly lined up, and he's like, "You're a git."
Judge.
Mike was like, "Yeah, go for it." So I rolled the dice and just absolutely
Piercing.
decimated. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that was a Crix Warcaster as well, and I was so chuffed with that because it was the first game of War Machine Mark IV that I had won.
amazing.
And I'd sprinted
Yeah,
specifically him away from everything to try and because of how fast and his feet. I didn't even need to drop the feet. But yeah, that was with the old card as well. I'm going to play this card, and he has 16-inch range, and then they got rid of that card, and I was very upset. But
yeah. You can easily, not easily, but you can potentially one round a heavy with him with 2 crit arm piercings with Weapon Master boosting the damage. Racks up really high,
mm,
reducing like even a Khador heavy to armor 10. So you're just rolling 4 dice, and that's how much damage you do. It's average of 14. You can just put 2 shots in. You only need a little bit above average, and that's a dead heavy.
the other thing I like to run with him is the Winter Corps Officer. just giving you
Yeah,
that. I know I've told you this before, and you get to
yeah.
re-roll
Change my game with him.
yeah, you get to just re-roll a dice from it, from especially for range attacks, and it works really nicely in a ranged army.
Yeah,
I also take snipers with him because I like a themed army,
team.
and
But yeah, the dogs giving mark target is really
yeah,
really nice with him and his battle group. Makes him super accurate
and just having that
because
wind core.
actually baseline most of the stuff is only Rat 5. All of his battle group, uh,
Mm,
direwolves and great bears with the range weapons only Rat 5. So you kind of need to run a unit or two of snipers just for the +2 Rat when you need it.
mm,
Outside of speed turn where you're boosted, they're not very accurate. He doesn't really have the focus to fuel them to
no,
boost a lot either. You need to run your Arcanist with him because he does want kind of a big battle group where he doesn't have much of his feet.
no. Um, because of the limited models I do have, yes, I do run him with Sergeant Goron. I also run him with a battle mechanic
Yeah,
as well because just having because I know that he hasn't got much of a control range, and I also run him with. Sorry, I've got to get the units up. The Arcanists as well because they give
yeah, they're pretty
give
essential for him.
yeah, they give not only do they buff with spells and give those abilities, they also give a source of power to with the Arcanos to Warjacks. So,
Yeah, in power, you mean the focus?
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, I tend to run Arcanists and snipers with him as well. Um, he doesn't really tend to care what's in his army other than his battle group. So you're building into that, like I said, with making your jacks more accurate with snipers. They also are your scenario pieces.
Mm,
You need them to contest and annoy your opponent. Um, and you can sort of feed models one at a time with their movement, with reposition and the dogs being speed 7. You can move the unit really far and still shoot or whatever you need to do,
yeah,
mark the target where you need to. Um, yeah, so the rest of the army I just tend to put in some suppressors because I like them. They do a lot of damage on their own.
no,
Um, I think Windscore infantry are pretty good now.
mm,
Back when I played Boris a lot was before the January update, and Windscore were a bit trash. And I actually thought the officer got lost that ability, the coordinated fire or whatever it is, to let you reroll. I thought,
uh,
but it
no,
was the set defense. I think they lost
yeah,
the battle plan for set defense. So I stopped playing that with him. But then he told me, "Oh no, he still has that." And I'm like, "Oh crap!"
yeah.
So I've gone back to that now.
He also has pressed advantage as well, which is I know we're going to
Swift
cover it.
Hunter is it?
Yeah, Swift Hunter, which is
Yeah,
another really good
but
feat to go along with them. So that's how I personally would run them. But
only for Warrior models, doesn't it? Sorry, we're
yeah,
jumping ahead a bit here, but that's a shame because Great Bear with a grinder with boosted attack rolls and Swift Hunter would be like traveling the whole table.
oh yeah, no,
But yeah,
that does make it
never mind.
insane. Excuse me.
It does work on suppressors though. They basically have grinders. They have mini grinders,
Cool.
so that's pretty cool.
Should we move past Yana because we've already covered her in the old Umbri? I don't think there's much
Um,
difference.
I'll just give you a quick rundown of what I tend to do with her in Windscore, which is she's probably my favourite cast to play, so I don't want to skip her.
Ah, okay,
But
that's fair enough
her
then.
main ability is this conferred rage, which gives +2 speed and to your warjacks if she kills a model.
Yeah.
And she's very tanky at defense 14, arm 18, and can't be knocked down. And then she has some like explosive javelins and a bunch of melee, pretty strong melee attacks. Her spells are dash for +1 speed, and that's it now, isn't it? There's no parry anymore.
No.
Fury Strength, which was updated recently when Old Umbre released, gives +2 to melee attack rolls for a warrior model or unit. And then Spirit Fang, which is just a nuke that reduces speed and defense if it damages a model.
Hmm.
So Dash includes the speed of her warriors. Fury Strength includes the hitting power of her warriors. And her feat offers Pathfinder, Cleave, and Overtake. So you want to take a lot of melee infantry, but also a big battle group with her, and it's all pretty much melee orientated. I always rack superiority and Avenger Force with her every game because her whole battle plan is for me about extending threat ranges. So You can take, say, Medveditsa. You have Avenging Force up. Medveditsa is going to move 3 inches in your maintenance phase if a model's been damaged.
Yeah.
She's going to get +2 to hit and damage in melee from her own Hand of Vengeance ability, which is the same trigger a model within 5 inches of her takes damage. So now it's Mat 10, power 20. She then, Yana, this is, triggers Conferred Rage. Medveditsa goes up to Mat 12, I think. She starts at 8. Yeah, she gives herself +2. So she's
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
10, Conferred Rage up to 12. And then you put superiority on her for Mat 14. So she's not going to miss anything. She's power 20, and she has a chain attack if she hits all attacks, which she will. And she's moved 3 inches. She's now speed. She's starting at 5. She's got Conferred Rage for 7, superiority for speed 9, and she
Fucking
already
hell.
has Pathfinder. So this Jack can charge 12 inches with reach 1, so 13 inches, plus a 3 inch move before you start. So 16 inches, and she'll hit and kill anything. That's the best one. But you can also do it with like an avalanche, for example. They have slam and follow up, grand slam and follow up. So if you put those like superiority and conferred rage on them, they can travel like half the table with a slam
Fucking hell.
and
That's
+2 mat
insane.
afterwards. They give up their initials to do that, but you can give them 3 focus and they can buy 3 attacks, which auto boosted, I think, with their lance. Yeah, they have trash. So the slam's going to knock the target down, and then they have 3 boosted power 17s auto hitting. So she can do some really like, she's very good at scalping tough targets out,
Mm.
no matter how far away they are, basically. Um, and then she can speed up her infantry and let them mow through opponents' infantry as well. So her warrior models will kill all the opponent's warrior models, and her battle group can kill all the opponent's battle group. So it's a really nice, fun way to play. I think she's a really fun warcaster in men's core. I know a lot of people are saying she's way better than Old Umbre, but she's still my favorite in men's core to play.
I was going to say,
You
just
should
after
check
you.
her out for sure.
Oh, yeah, of course. When you're saying all of that, all I'm thinking is, oh, yeah, you can have a lot of fun with her. For you, not your opponent.
I think she is pretty fun for your opponent. She's like tough and gets stuck in herself. She has to
Yeah.
be
It's
fighting enemy models to get these abilities up. So
it's just nice to see a Warcaster actually getting involved into the fray instead of just going, let's sit on the sidelines and just do some stuff over there.
yeah, I mean Boris sits on the sidelines and still gets into the fray because he's got a range 14 sniper rifle.
He's
It
always in
can
the
kill
fray.
heavies. And,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Yana is a lot of fun and I think pretty powerful in Woods Core. I tend to take um, Man of War Wrecking Crew and Shock Trooper Pikeman with her. Sometimes I'll take snipers and stuff just to put scenario pieces because those
Mm.
things are kind of slow. Um, but
Shouldn't the
they're
shock.
kind of tanky. Yeah, they're kind of tanky on their own, and they hit relatively hard. She can buff that
Yeah.
up. She can give them a bit of extra speed because of dash and sidestep. What is it on her feet? Overtake, not sidestep, isn't it? So yeah, they can get stuck in and mow stuff down if they get there. Do you want to move on to Capitan Zahara Vilkul?
I know we've done her as the junior warcaster, so we're going to do her as the for old Umbre. So we're going to do her as sorry, the journeyman warcaster.
Yeah, this is a fully fledged version.
Yeah. So Captain Sahara Vilkul is 17 health. She is mat 7. Sorry, speed 7, at 6, mat 7, rat 7, defense 16, armor 15, arcane of 6, and control of 12. So she has alchemical mask. Models. This model does not suffer gas effects when determining line of sight or resolving attacks. This model ignores cloud effects and concealment granted from cloud effects as well, which is really nice.
Yeah,
She's Field Marshal Prowl. She has Prowl as well. She has Rise. This model is knocked down at the beginning of your maintenance phase. It stands up, and she has Takedown. Models disabled by a melee attack made by this model cannot make a tough roll. Models boxed by a melee attack made by this model are removed from play.
Yeah, it's really nice on a sort of melee assassin caster.
Mm,
There's a lot of times when you have like one focus left, you have to make one more attack and think, oh man, if they tough this, I'm screwed. But
I've
you
not.
don't get tough.
I was gonna say I've personally not had much luck with her, but I guess I've been playing her wrong. So
Yeah, I don't tend to play her a lot either. I think she's sort of more of a like mind game sort of. I'm going to assassinate you if you make a mistake, and
yeah,
it's your opponent has to always be aware of that and worried about it. She's got pretty solid stats like speed 7, mat 7, rat
oh
7, defense 16, all pretty good. She's not that good at like her arc and control range are just average, so she's not like a very um, arcanist orientated warcaster. She's all about beating stuff up herself, isn't she?
yeah.
Do you want me to go over the icons because she's got about six? And
I know that no gas or no fire, but yes, go for it.
so she's got unstoppable, so she can move away from models without penalty. She's got tough, which is why she has rise as well. So if someone fails an assassination on her, she's just going to get back up and kill them
Yeah,
instead. Immunity, not immunity, it's resistance now, isn't it? Resistance fire, resistance corrosion, pathfinder, and dual attack. So she can attack with her throwing axes and her melee axes at the same time.
yep.
Speaking of which,
We've got the throwing axe, which is rat 7, range 8, rate of fire 1, power 13. It is a pistol and magical damage, which is nice to have throwing axes in combat.
yep,
So the attack type is Eruption of Ash and Wardbreaker. Eruption of Ash on a direct hit when this model is boxed by an attack model made with this model. Center a 3-inch cloud template on the boxed model and then remove that model from play. The template is a hazard that remains in play for 1 round. Enemies cannot enter or ending their activation in the template suffer a power 12 fire damage roll. So it's nice that it just whomps a model and it goes, here's the template.
yeah. I mean, on turns where you're not going for the assassination, you can just throw an axe at someone and make a little annoying power 12
Mm,
cloud that they can't see through or walk through if they're low armor. Um, they can move through it. I think we both said they can't, but we just mean because they'll take damage, not because it's impassable.
oh yeah. Unless you've got immune to fire, sorry, resistance to fire, then you're just going to walk through it anyway. So
Yeah, or high armor or loads of boxes, you probably won't care. But
no. And then
yeah, it can affect things. She's
she
got another attack
has
type. Yeah,
Wardbreaker on it. When resolving this attack, this weapon gains blessed. Which
which is really nice again for an assassin to have
yeah,
because her main game plan is killing the opponent's warcaster, isn't it, or warlock?
yeah,
And she's just going to get around their defenses. Basically, she gets around tough. She gets around defensive spells, upkeeps. Yeah.
yeah.
Next
The only,
weapon.
I was gonna say the only problem with that because it's a pistol weapon. I am a little bit annoyed that it's not weapon master throwing axes.
Yeah, she's got a weapon master one there, hasn't she?
Yeah. Um, so mechanical axe, she has weapon master and magical damage. It's mat 7, range 1, power 13. There's Eruption of Ash, which we've
It's
just
the same
covered.
abilities.
Yeah, and
We
it's
we
Wardbreaker
have to
again.
cover them again.
And then she's got the combat knife, which is weapon master, magical damage, mat 7, range 1, and power of 10.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
yeah,
But
she's
she doesn't need weapon master on the thrown axe because you only get one of those. Just think of it as a bonus, really, can't you?
yeah, I guess so. But I just want everything weapon master. I've mastered throwing this axe.
You only play the weapon master casters in Khador.
Yeah, and then we've
So
got
if you're buying attacks, you're going to do it with the weapon master one, aren't you?
yeah.
The power 13 blessed weapon master.
So then we've got her feat, which is Pool of Ash. Place D3 +3 cloud effects template anywhere completely within vehicle's control range. So control range is 12.
Yep.
While in the templates, friendly faction models gain Pathfinder and can move through obstructions and other models if they have enough movement to move completely. While in this template, living models suffer -2 damage. Sorry, -2 defense, -2
Yep.
to the attack rolls, and lose tough unless they can ignore gas effects. Pool of uh, Pool of Ash lasts for 1 round. For some reason, I read that it's
Yeah.
Pool. Sorry.
So, so this is there's more to it than just some clouds, basically.
Yeah.
Because she's an assassin and she's going to go for the assassination a lot of times. You can hold this feat and just pop one of these clouds on the opponent to give them -2 defense.
Mm.
And then her first spell up, Cold Front, the spellcaster gains Chiller for 1 turn while within 2 inches of model with Chiller. Enemy models without resistance cold suffer -2 defense. So if your opponent is living and not immune to cold, she can reduce the defense by 4,
Yep.
which is a huge deal against a lot of warcasters when you're going for the assassination. You're already mat 7, so basically mat 11. Might as well just do our other spell now as well, which is a huge one. Cyclone, again, because we love Sorcerer. This comes from Sorcerer too.
Yep.
The spellcaster immediately makes a full advance. At the end of the movement, the spellcaster can make 1 basic melee attack against each model in its line of sight that is in melee range. Can only be cast once per activation. So you can either basically use this to move up and make some attacks, and then use your regular movement to move backwards, and then you can still throw your axe afterwards. Or you can move up 7, then cast this and move another 7. Or you can cast this, move up 7, then charge 10. um, yeah, so she's very, very mobile. 2 speed 7 warcasters in the faction is pretty unusual, and they're both assassins in their own way.
Mm.
Sorry, going back to the feat as well, you can use it to protect your own army, obviously, with D3+3 clouds to block line of sight. You can use it to debuff your opponent, and you can use it for assassination, so it's pretty effective for just some cloud templates.
Yeah, it is really good.
What kind of spells do you usually rack with her?
I usually try and keep Cold Front. I haven't run Cyclone with her.
Oh, they're her spells, aren't they? Which ones are you going to take on top?
Just bear with me whilst I refresh my memory. Da, 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 da.
You checking your lists?
Yeah, I'd probably run maybe Superiority or Avenging Force.
Yeah, both those are really good ones with her. We spoke a little bit at the beginning about Avenging Force and Fog War kind of conflicting with her, where she
Yeah.
really wants both. But that's both your rack slots. She only has. Oh, she actually has 3, doesn't she?
I think she used to have 3, but she rack slots 3.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got 3.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
could take
so
take all 3.
that's the only reason you can rack Avenging Force and Fog of War if you want. I definitely take Superiority in Avenging Force because her threat range is insane with Avenging Force. You can move 3 inches at the beginning of your turn.
Yeah.
You could potentially throw an axe off of that as well. Then you can take your activation. You can have Swift Hunter on her from the officer, as you mentioned, for an extra 2 inches, plus 7 inches from Cyclone, plus 10 inches from a charge, and then an extra inch for melee threat. I think that's the maximum. So she can threat, I think it's 23 inches,
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane. With the feet, you can move through models as well, can't you? Like Boris's Veil of Mists.
Yeah.
So there's just no hiding from her. She's got ridiculous threat range. You have to really protect your warcaster at all times when you're playing against her. It just makes it like a really high pressure game for your opponent, having to make sure your warcaster's safe every single turn.
I was
You
going to say
can't pull those focus.
I haven't played her since they updated her, but I played her when she first came out in the 2-player box set with her against
Yeah,
Marcus, and I found that hunting down Marcus, apart from this stupid teleporting,
yeah.
it's not even Marcus, it's
Kane.
Kane. So yeah, Kane with his teleporting, it was a little bit more frustrating because trying to throw those axes. But
Yeah,
she seems to have improved since they've updated her to fall like the rest of the cable casters. So she's definitely an
yeah.
assassination tool.
She's one of the most commonly taken ones in tournaments and stuff now.
Mm.
She tends to be in most pairs I've seen. I've seen so many battle reports that are just her being played. So I think she's probably the most common warcaster right now.
I just really like
She's
the
not.
as an intro box set getting her with Razor the SKG hounds And the Jackal
Yeah,
is just a really nice way of going, here's Khador, welcome back.
yeah. Everything in that box is really solid. I know you
Mm.
like the Jackal a lot. I tend to not run him as often, but the other things in there, uh, Razor's pretty solid. He's
Yeah, I
pretty
was gonna.
expensive though, sadly. But yeah, she's a very powerful caster. There's not a lot you can do to stop her assassinating you apart from staying out of range, which is a ridiculous range.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I'd tend to rack definitely Avenger Force every single time.
Yeah.
I'd probably put like Iron Flesh and Superiority in there just to keep your army fighting while she's not really offering much else, is she, apart
No.
from her own threat. So,
That's why I take the superiority. I didn't think about taking the Iron
yeah,
Flesh, but that kind of makes me think that I should.
yeah, you could go with some other options like Fog of War, like you said, because she has Field Marshal Prowl, so all of her jacks can get stealth done, just every
Yes.
turn guaranteed. If it's against an army where that matters, you can definitely do that.
Mm.
You can think about things like Tempest and um, Freezing Grip potentially with her. She's only Arc 6, but you can, I mean, Arcane Attack 6, but you
Mm.
can reduce their defense by 4, as I said, and then you have the option to knock them down or freeze them, so you can guarantee landing all your attacks. Since she's not like upkeeping a bunch of spells or anything like that, she's just projecting her own threat. You can kind of use her to do something like that, and then she doesn't actually have reposition, does she? So
No.
she can't back up afterwards, but she can hang around feeling safe because you don't want to go near her in a way. Although she can be assassinated herself
Yeah, but I'd
if you don't.
also back her up with Volkova,
Yeah,
just to give you that little bit of a threat of if you come near here, you're probably going to get frozen. So
I forgot about Volkova. We should have mentioned her with Boris as well because she offers eyeless sight to the army um, through the spell guidance. Um, so with Boris's Warjack's ancillary attacking guidance spells are really, really nice. We can cover that when we get to her, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Uh, Finally, then, oh no, we've got two more.
yeah. So we got
Next up is Tatiana, one of my other favorite warcasters in Windscore, just because I love the Mana War stuff. I think this is the one I most recently played as well. So, Commander Tatiana Sakura, the highest ranked of all of these. Um, she's speed 5, arcane attack 6, mat 7. She doesn't have any ranged attacks. Defense 13, which is pretty low, but armor 19, which is very high. She's Arc 7 and Control 14, which are again pretty high for Khador Warcasters, especially the more combat orientated ones.
mm,
She has Battle Plans, just one actually, which is Desperate Pace to Mana War, gives +2 inches of movement to a Mana War unit within 5 of her.
yeah,
That's really useful on speed 4 units. She has Bulldoze, so she can move things 2 inches away when she contacts them with her movement. She has Hyper Aggressive, so when she suffers damage, she can move directly towards the attacker in their turn. And she's repairable, which is really nice for a Warcaster with high armor as well.
yes,
She's also unstoppable on a 40 mil base with 18 boxes. So she's probably her and Yana are the most tanky. She probably edges it out a little bit,
I
but
was going to say she's pretty much a Warjack at that point.
yeah, she's not quite card chef, but yeah, she's pretty resilient for a Warcaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
Defense 13 isn't great, but it's decent for a Mana War, I suppose. Her weapons are Great Axe, which has critical brutal damage, it's mat 7, range 2, and power 14 magical, and Frost Driver, which is like a little punch dagger thing. It's critical arm piercing, automatically stationaries the target unless they have immunity cold, and it's range 1, power 12. So that, like I said with Zahara, you're going to use the power 14 critical
oh yeah,
brutal damage one when you're buying attacks, but this one's nice. When you charge in, just have them with the freeze and all your other attacks are auto hit. Also, if the crit arm piercing goes off, that's really nice. If you did charge something to high defense, you just have to boost that one. and then you get the crit freeze. Not even crit freeze, sorry. You just get a freeze. You're boosting it, so you might get crit arm piercing. It's pretty powerful. Really nice combo of weapons there for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely
Um,
perfect for especially close combat
she's
and
got
being repairable as well.
Yeah. You don't tend to throw her in very much because she's more of a support, but you can late game once she's not being threatened as much.
Mm.
Her feat is Fortunes of War. It's quite nice. Nothing flashy. You just get friendly faction models gain unyielding and reroll attack rolls, which is pretty solid. Like we said, Baron over and then Boris on his feet.
Yeah, you get
A
plus
little
two
accuracy
against
buff
melee
life.
damage as
That's really
well.
nice. You get +2 arm against melee damage. That's from
Yeah,
unyielding, which is really nice because you're generally going to take it with a bunch of mana wall, which are starting at armor 19 upwards.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, the rerolls is the more powerful part of that feat. I
mm.
feel like, especially with when you have 2 units of suppressors, you basically max out the mana wall. You take 2 suppressors, 2 wrecking crew, probably 1 maximum controller. You wouldn't take 2 of those, I don't think. But and then a bunch of firewalls because she has a spell called Positive Charge, which makes no sense thematically to me. It's a very signal spell to me, but Khador has it now. Which so this is a cost 2, range 6, duration turn. Target friendly faction cohort model gains +2 to melee attack and melee damage rolls, while within 3 of the affected cohort model, other friendly faction models gain +2 on their melee attack and melee damage rolls. Lasts for 1 turn, which is amazing. +2 hit and damage for the jack and everything within 3 inches of it. It's a really, really powerful spell. It always has been. It's kind of caster defining. You'd say this is a positive charge caster in previous editions when you're playing
Mm.
Signal or whatever. Yeah, any caster that has that tends to be good. She has Avenging Force on her spell list, so she doesn't need to rack it, which is also really, really nice. She does enjoy that spell as well because you get to place those jacks with positive charge where you need them. She also has hyper aggressive. There's a bit of tricks you can do there where you can move forwards and then Avenging Force and get an assassination with her herself if it ever comes up that way. And then her final spell is Tactical Supremacy, which is cost 2, range 6 upkeep. And target friendly faction model unit gains reposition 3, which I tend to just stick on a unit of suppressors and leave it there until they die and then put it on the other one.
Yeah,
Speeds them up a bit in the early game. You can just sort of steady advance, shooting everything down, and then either push forward or back up as you need to. So she kind of just like makes your army more Khador. You just
yeah,
get a bit tankier, you hit a bit harder, and she does make mana wall move a bit quicker with tactical supremacy and the battle plan, desperate pace.
yeah,
Unyielding's not amazing for her feat. If it was just +2 armor for everything, that would be awesome.
mm.
But it kind of pushes you into fighting against other melee armies. So if you get like a bad matchup, it's not going to do so well. But as I said, with Baronova, with her invocations of Wrath, taking like a high volume of attacks is really nice. Suppressors and great pairs of grinders or die walls with chain guns, rerolling their missed attack rolls, really, really nice. I tend to rack either. I basically always take Puissance and Iron Flesh with her because you're taking loads of mana war. Just put 1 on each unit of Wrecking Crew.
Mm.
Or actually, I usually put Iron Flesh on the suppressors that don't have tactical supremacy. So they're armor 21 and the Wreckers are all 20. Give them all unyielding as well. You always want to take Golden Lord Damien Korovnik with her because she's got a positive charge, which isn't an upkeep, so he can cast it for her. So you can cover more of the table because you don't have arc nodes in Khador. You don't need to be stood 6 inches away from your jacks at all times. He's like a auto include with her. The army kind of builds itself with her. And then because you've got positive charge, you don't need like super heavy hitting Great Bears or Mastodon. Although
No,
you could do that if you wanted. Unyielding Mastodon's pretty rude. But what you do want is a bunch of jacks so you can spam out positive charge.
yeah, I
One
was
from
just
Korovnik and then 1 to 2 from herself, and then you can basically cover your entire army with positive charge. So
Yeah.
everything's got +2 to hit and damage. And you want to do that on dire wolves. I usually give maxes for the longer range, although it's just within 3 inches. It doesn't actually. I think it used to be like, or maybe I'm thinking of flank or something where it has to be engaged with the model,
Mm.
but it doesn't matter anyway.
I was gonna say
So
I'd take
yeah, just a
avalanche with her
bunch
as
of cheap
well.
dire wolves with shields for the the unyielding, and the damage output from positive charge. Can't go wrong.
Mm.
She's just pretty solid, I think. A strong caster, but not no tricks really, apart from the Avenging Force and hyper aggressive one I mentioned. But
Mm.
pretty Khador as Khador go.
Yeah, Khador is Khador. All right. Um,
And then the final warcaster, do you want me to cover him as well since you haven't played him?
yeah, go for it.
He's probably one of the stronger ones as well, or used to be before he got a bit nerfed. But this is Commander Valery Severin. He's got 17 health, speed 6, arcane attack 6, nat 6, nat 7, rat 6, defense 15, armor 16, arc 7, and control 14. He's got dual attack, and he has a couple of battle plans. The first one is at all costs, target friendly faction warrior model unit gains a shield guard, which is really nice, being able to put shield guards whenever you need them, wherever you need them. And also being able to choose which kind of models have shield guard as well. Like if you just want to pass off attacks to lowly, cheap windscore infantry that are going to like disrupt or stationary attacks or something like that, and you don't care if a little dude dies or if it's like a sniper shot,
Mm.
like that would kill an infantry, you can just ping it off to a man of war who doesn't care about losing 1 point.
No.
So yeah, or like an electroleap or something like that. You can really like negate your opponent's shooting by putting it where you can put all of their damage where they don't want it.
Oh yeah.
Like depending on how powerful the attacks are. Like a really high power shot that they only have one of, you just put it on a sniper or something and don't care if one guy dies. But if it's like a huge AoE or like infantry murder and stuff, you can just ping it onto a warjack. You can do that because your direwolves have shield card already, so
Mm.
you can't put it on direwolves. The next battle plan is Kill Order, which is kind of his bread and butter and one of the most powerful parts of his kit. It's range 10 and affects enemies. You target an enemy model or unit in his line of sight. While within 10 inches of this model, friendly warrior models gain +2 to attack and damage rolls against the chosen model unit. Kill Order lasts for 1 turn. So he targets an enemy within 10, and then everything in a 10-inch model around him gets +2 to attack damage that model that he chose. Okay. He does have a way to back up afterwards with one of his spells, but I often take the reposition card with him as well, just to back him up after he's done this.
Mm.
Because you don't want to be stood in 10 inches of the opponent's army with your 15, 16 warcaster a lot of the time. But +2 to attack and damage on everything, it's really, really nice. It's actually warrior models, it's not your warjacks. And then finally, he has Precision Strike, which is while within 10 of him, your models can see and move through each other,
Yeah.
which is really nice. That's the old tactician rule. So he's got 3 really strong battle plans there, and you're going to get used to them every single turn.
Oh, of course.
I'll just skip ahead to his feat real quick, which is he can use his battle plan ability 3 times this turn. So you can either use like one of each, or you can kill all the 3 models, or you can mix and match however you want. You can shield out 3 units if you really want to use your feat for that.
Oh no, no, you're gonna get kill order 3 times.
Yeah, the thing is, he stood in front of you, 3 of your opponent's units, 10 inches away at that point. But you're hopefully going to murder them all. So it
Yes.
is really powerful for that, though. That's why I aim to get like 2 kill orders and a tactician or something. Additionally, while in Severin's control range, friendly faction models ignore cover and concealment. It used to give you blessed as well, but it doesn't anymore, sadly. That's the biggest nerf to him. So you have 1 turn of ignoring all your opponent's armor buffs, but not anymore. He's got a pretty strong spell list as well. He has escort, so he speeds up all your jacks. I'll just cover that quickly. Cohort models in the spellcaster's battle group beginning their activations in his control range gain +2 speed while advances by their normal movement. Spellcaster gains +2 armor while he's within 3 inches of a cohort model in his battle group. So yeah, speeding up all your Khador jacks, really nice. Um, he has Icy Grip, which I don't think I've ever cast with him, which is cost 2, range 8, power 12, lasts for a round. Target model hit without resistance cold suffers -2 speed for 1 round. Only being range 8, pretty scary. You don't have arc nodes in the faction. It's very rare you're going to cast that, although Korovnik could, I suppose. I think I actually have cast it with Korovnik, but never with Severin himself.
Yeah.
He has Rock Wall, which is a really powerful ability. Place a wall template in your control range. Um, yeah, that's really nice for protecting him after he's walked up and kill ordered, or just denying your opponent board space, or if you take a Mastodon with him, you can place it in front of him so your opponent can't get their models into it and stuff like that. There's a ton of stuff you can do with the Rock Walls. Everyone knows it's a really powerful spell. And then, as I mentioned earlier, his way to reposition is Tides of War, which is cost 2, range control, range self AoE control. Last return, while in the spellcaster's control range, models in his battle group gain reposition 3. I don't tend to cast this a lot, that's why I take the card, because it's used up his focus and activation issues. He tends to want to get first anyway to kill order or something. But yeah, you can give the boss group repo 3, including himself, unlike Rhythm of War.
Yeah.
But you have to recast it every turn if you need it. So yeah, he kind of universally buffs his army, tending towards warriors because of kill order only affecting warriors.
Yeah.
Rack wise, tends to take maybe superiority or Iron Flesh. It's just generally the upkeep spells. Avenger Force I pretty much take in every game with Windscore. Just that unpredictability that your opponent has to keep in mind all the time and getting extra movement and attacks is always nice. You can take a lot of things with him, but suppressors really go up to 11 because they're volume fire already. If they're shooting at warjacks, like heavies, they're getting +4/+4 to their attack and damage, making them range 10, rat 9, power 16 with D3 +1 shots each. They'll really chew through stuff. They'll chew through heavies, let alone like large space things like cavalry. They can really destroy cavalry if they can catch them with their speed 4. But yeah, he's like a kind of all-round warcast that offers a lot to Khador. Offered a lot more when he had Blessed on his feet, but still pretty good. Oh, quickly, I'll go back to his weapons. He has a hand cannon, which is Rat 6, range 12, power 12. It has pistol as well, so you can use it in melee if you ever get in that situation. And he has a Mat 7, range 1, power 13, crit decapitation sword
That's
called
insane.
Headstone, fittingly, but you don't really want to be using it.
No, I would imagine you wouldn't want to use that, especially not unless you're getting into close combat and then you've pretty much just failed at that point.
Yeah, sometimes maybe you want to like charge something, kill order something 10 inches behind that, and then reposition 3 backwards and stick a rock wall in front of yourself, or stick a rock wall behind yourself and then reposition over it because you have to do that first. But yeah, his feet's still pretty strong, ignoring cover and concealment. Tends to push you towards shooting, and then kill order just tends to push you towards warriors. So suppressors is probably your list there. The harms are really nice with him. Especially with the shield guard, they're pretty tough little models. Yeah, he's a pretty all rounder. He seems to support infantry a bit better, and people like to take a Mastodon with him. I think Rockwall does a lot for a Mastodon as well to protect it.
But yeah, no, I, I sorry, like after hearing all the different casters that we've like learned off tonight, because I only have two. I think that Yana is a must.
Yeah,
Tatiana, sorry, and Valeri, I think would be
yeah,
absolutely
I
brilliant.
think those two are pretty strong picks. I think I know Saverin and Baronova are taking quite a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know how often people take Yana to tournaments and stuff like that. I haven't really been to many. But yeah, I think if I was playing a tournament pair, I'd definitely be taking Yana. I'd probably tend towards Morris just because I like him. and it gives you that like this one's a melee threat and that one's a range threat. But you can definitely play Tatiana or Saverin with any
Mm.
pair pretty much, or Baronova. They're all pretty solid and all round. Tatiana, you kind of need to play into infantry. You don't want to get shot off with her.
No.
She doesn't have much shooting protection. And Fog of War does not do anything for her army with defense 10 across the board. But Baronova and Saverin can kind of play into anything.
Right.
Do you want to cover the entire faction tonight? Because it's getting quite late.
I was gonna say, I'd send you a message saying, we could do this as a two-parter if we. I was just saying
Yeah,
which part's gonna be quicker to cover because wasn't expecting it to take so long. I think it was just messing around with all the sound beforehand. I wasn't
yeah.
expect. So
Started a
we,
bit late, didn't we?
yeah, I was gonna say, probably shouldn't take too long to go through all the jacks. Oh yeah, you get all the weapon options, haven't you? Yeah, we could always
Yeah,
put.
we can just go through like a few basics. If you want to do the jacks now, we can, or we can
Yeah,
just leave
yeah,
it
and
there
then
if you
it's
want.
just solos and units, and I could do it as a two-parter.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right, so starting off with the Warjacks, we've got the Avalanche. The field allowance of 2, points cost is 15 per Warjack. He is the cadre heavier for the Annihilators.
Yeah,
Um, he has 34 hitbox. He is speed 5, mat 7, defense 10, and armor 20. Aaron's going to take away the symbols now.
yeah, it's unstoppable, which is really nice.
Mm.
That's trample, slam, headbutt, gladiator, and construct on the 50 mil base. So gladiator, I just need to double check. I think it gives you like +2 to your power attacks. Can't remember if it's to hit his damage rolls. So he's sort of like slamming is his thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing of note there is that he's speed 5. The other stats are the same as the Great Bear so far.
Mm. Um,
His abilities.
Bulldoze, which we already know, so it can be base to base. It can be moved 2 inches directly away from him, and it makes a trample power attack. He has
Yeah, you
fleet.
can't bulldoze stuff when you're trampling
Yeah.
because you're walking over it, not through it.
He's got fleet. Once per activation, this model can spend 1 focus point to gain +2 speed that activation, so going up from speed 5 to speed 7.
Yeah, which is insane for Khador, isn't it?
Yeah, as a speed little jack. Then we got follow up. When this model slams an enemy model, immediately after the slam is resolved, this model can advance directly towards the slam model up to the distance that the slam model was moved. And in the ground slam, this model can make slam power attacks without spending focus points. Models slammed by this model are moved an additional 2 inches. So, from what I'm understanding, is you spend 1 for a fleet,
Yeah,
ground slam into them, and then follow up. So moving it 2 inches.
yeah,
7 going to 9. So moving at 11 inches. That's just that's done.
it depends how far you slam them, doesn't it? I can't remember how
Yeah.
far slams actually go now.
Grand.
Does this do D6 for a slam?
I believe so. Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm sure
So
people
he
will let
moves
us
the
know.
full distance that they get slammed. So they're going to get slammed D6 +2, and then he moves basically the entire distance to get back into melee range of them. So he's speed 7, goes up to 10 for the slam attack, which is 1 inch. So he can threaten something 11 away with no buffs. And then he slams it D6 +2 inches away and moves that far after it as well. So 11 plus maximum 6 +2. So you can go 19 inches with no buffs, then start attacking stuff.
It's just stupid. I love it. It's just dumb. I just think it's brilliant.
We're
Um,
not even close to 10 yet.
no, it's like his head's hyper aggressive. So when this model suffers damage from an enemy attack after the attack is resolved, it can immediately make a full advance directly towards the attacking model.
Yeah, so before that potential 19, you can move 5 towards them in their turn.
Yeah, it just gets better. And then his right arm is a pneumatic lance. It has range 2, power 17, critical armor piercing, and trash.
Yeah,
Uh, Trash is gaining an additional die on damage rolls with this weapon against knockdown targets, which is,
which they will be once you slam them.
yeah. And then he has the wedge shield as well. So it's granted shield. So his standard armor is 20, so he's going up to 22. So he's got
Yeah.
range 1, power 15. He has beat back and trash, which perfectly acceptable with my book. But yeah, combining
So
him with,
if you do slam with him, you can then start. If you really need the movement for some reason, you can buy attack with the shield and beat back and move an inch at a time further afterwards.
I just want to see you follow up, bash him again, and then follow up again,
Yeah, it's like
and
bowling with
just
him.
back into the deployment zone
Yeah.
with
And then,
a
as I
command
mentioned
position
earlier,
with. Oh, sorry.
with Yana, yeah, the extra +2 inches from conferred rage, you can superiority it for another 2, and you can avenging force. So
I
in
just
total,
want.
you're never going to be in control range afterwards, but
Oh Christ,
you
no! I
can
just.
5 inches for hyper aggressive in their turn, 3 inches in your turn for avenging force. Then your slam will go 10, as we said, with fleet. That's 18. Then you're gonna, or let's say you rolled a 6 on just for the lulls. Rolled a
Hmm.
6 on your slam, so they're going another 8 inches. That's 26. And then you could buy 2 beatback attacks and move 28 inches after your follow up. That's
That's the
it's
whole
hilarious.
deployment.
It's never going to happen. There's no reason to. You just launch your warjack behind their army, just to
I,
like push one of their models all the way back into the deployment zone. But yeah, it's funny. There is a lot of times when you can like line up your slam by using Avenging Force and then slam something that you don't really care about attacking, follow up, and now you stood next to their Warcaster or something else that you actually want to attack.
See, I
And
just
then,
just wanted somebody to slam into a warcaster and just watch it go back to its deployment zone.
yeah,
Don't care about doing any damage. I just want to see it get as far away, so none of the warjacks do anything. The army's in
it'd
disarray.
be even funny on a Warlock because then all their beasts were frenzy.
That's so much better.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Lol's Warjack. It's kind
Yeah,
of unpredictable, but I don't think you're getting it back or back in control range if you do all this stuff. But
that's why you buy a
having
second
trash on
one.
those attacks, you kind of give up your initials, but the ones you buy are boosted damage, so it's
Yeah,
pretty powerful. You could knock something down with something else, like a Great Bear with a heavy cannon.
yeah,
They can just shoot something and knock it down, and then you can just charge it and use all his trash as additional die, isn't it? It's not even
yeah.
boosted. So, say a Great Bear shoots something, knocks it down, he then charges it. He's going to get a power 17 with 4 dice damage, and then a power 15 with 3 dice, which you could boost as well if you want.
Yeah.
You probably don't. And then you can. It also has crit armor piercing on that power 17. So even though your target's knocked down, you can just roll your attacks to see if you get a crit. As long as it's not a double one. Any other double's nice. You're going to get half their armor and 4 damage dice. He's pretty fun, Warjack. He's just as tough as a Great Bear with a shield as well.
Mm.
He just doesn't have a shooting weapon. Yeah, he's a really nice Warjack. He's not that expensive, 15 either.
No.
Just quickly, casters you want to take him with any really, but probably not Boris.
No, I would say
Probably because Baranova's
Yana.
more about boosting hit rolls, and he's relying on your opponent being knocked down anyway.
Yeah,
Although she does have arc nodes, so you can cast Rack Tempest with her and knock your opponents down automatically with that spell. That's a pretty nice common.
and then
But
use
yeah,
the
Yana's
trash
definitely
off of
my
that.
favorite place for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tatiana, but that's only because it's part of her cadre. So
Yeah, definitely works. 15 points, and
Yeah.
she does like it with positive charges, getting pound 19 on those attacks.
Um, so moving on, would you like to cover Direwolf?
Yeah, sure. So it's the cheaper of the two heavies. It's slightly less resilient. It's defense 11, so that's 1 point higher than the average in Khador. Defense 19 is 1 point lower.
Mm,
It's speed 5, which is 1 point higher. Nat 6 and sorry, yeah, Nat 6 rat 5. Um, it has dual attack and then the standard heavy icons,
yeah.
which is the power attacks basically. It only has 30 boxes, not 34 like the Direwolf chassis. Um, it comes with a special ability called Anchor, which is friendly warrior models cannot be knocked down while face to face with this model. Pretty nice because he's kind of generally taken as a protective shield guard guy.
Yeah.
So you can't like hit him with his lower defense and then knock down the caster or anything like that. Your head options are 1 point for evasive, which is when you get hit, you can move 2 inches with a ranged
Mm,
attack. Um, you have a 1 point shield guard head, which I almost always take because it's cheap and shield guard is always good. Then the 2 point options you can have overtake, which I've never taken, except with Yana, where I said about you going for those threat ranges all the time. You can boost the initial threat really high and then start overtaking to get places you weren't expecting to. And then 2 points for Pathfinder. I think I don't tend to take that because paying 2 points just in case you need Pathfinder is like painful. You have
see, I
cards or
have,
Boris has it
I
as
yeah,
you have World Secrets. Boris has it as a field marshal.
yeah.
Um,
So I
or
usually
you have like
run
lists and stuff like
overtake.
that. Yeah, it's I don't tend to want to take Pathfinder, but sometimes you might want to.
That's
All right, on to the weapons then. On his right arm, he can take a Bombard, which is a range 12, rate of fire 1, AoE 2, power 14/8 with arcing fire. It's sadly a downgrade from previous Bombards, which exist on the Mark III Khador, where they're range 14, but hey ho, that's 6 points. Then the other three are 5 points. I have taken Bombards with Boris just to mix it up and see what's what. It's the only AoE one that you have access to
mm,
with a Direwolf. Um, then for 5 points, you can get a cannon, which is range 12 also, but it's higher power at 15, but there's no AoE. It has beat back and critical knockdown, so you can reposition a little bit with it. Um, the crit knockdown is not that reliable, although
no.
again with Boris's feat it can be quite nice. Then for melee weapons, you can take an ice hammer at 5 points, which is power 17, range 1, and has critical freeze. That is a go-to, although it went up in points before.
Mm,
Almost every Direwolf took this and was like a 9 point with a shield guard and a shield. Um, Not as auto included as it used to be, but it's still your highest power melee weapon. Um, and then the final option for your right arm is a long axe, which is one less power at 16 and one higher range at 2. Instead
mm,
of critical freeze, you've got critical grievance runes. So I tend to take this one with Yana as well because the extra threat range from range 2. Um, Otherwise, you probably want to go for the ice hammer for the higher power. And crit freeze is probably better than grievous runes. When you want grievous runes, you don't want it to be coming from a crit.
no.
But if you get a crit freeze, it's always going to be good, isn't it? So then for left arms, you can have a flame fist, which I haven't really taken. I don't
No,
think
neither have
it's the same.
I.
Sorry.
I was gonna say neither have I, because what the spray six rate of fire one, apart from being a pistol, which would be great in close quarters, and the power 12,
Yeah.
I've not seen much of a use for it.
The only thing that it offers that you can't get elsewhere is a throw power attack. Is the only open fist on this chassis.
Yeah,
So yeah, that opens up being able to throw other models around. But apart from that, it's only power 14 on melee and it's only power 12
mm,
spray 6 with pistol. Um, he's only rat 5 as well, so the spray's not that good. Yeah, it's a cheap option, but you also have at 4 points a plow shield, which gives you +2 armor, bringing you up to 21. It's power
yeah,
14 also in melee, though you don't get the throw power attack. And this
Yeah.
gives for any models face to face with it gain resistance blast. So they're immune to knockdown and resistant to blasts. So you can really protect. I think the most common build with this is the Ice Hammer, the Plow Shield, and the Shield Guard head. And you just, it's a heavy. I mean, it hits power 17. You can buff that a lot of ways in Khador.
I
Um,
was
but
gonna say I
you don't have to commit
normally
it straight away.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
I have ran one with overtake, right arm with bombardment and a scrap saw,
Yeah, doesn't
just
sound bad.
because it makes things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just covered this scrap saw. Uh, got two more options on the left hand.
Oh, sorry, I do
Scrap
apologize.
saw I've taken plenty of times as well because it's power 17 and it's on the left arm, which is
Yeah,
really unusual and nice to have. Has critical shred as well, so you get an extra attack if you crit. And then the final option is the heavy chain gun, which is cost 6, so the most expensive. It's range 10, D3 plus 1, power 12 with volume 5, which if I am taking a range weapon on this, it tends to be that because
yeah,
volume 4 ups your rat as well as your damage. It's only rat 5, so assuming you're shooting at something with a medium or large base, you're getting higher rat,
yeah,
which is quite important. Um, yeah, I think you can go like for a heavy chain gun and a ice hammer or long axe. You, you're not often going to go for two ranged weapons on a rat 5 4 jab.
no,
I think I did with Boris in one game, and it was nice. I think I just played a game where I played the 7 jacks I have, all with all of the options basically, all of the ranged guns, just to see which ones I liked, and that
yeah,
was like a solid way to play because you got lots of options for different targets that you need to
mm,
use different abilities on. Like you need to knock down that one, you need to volume fire this one, etc. So yeah, I think direwolves you tend to take them as cheap and resistant rather than being like super heavy hitters.
yeah,
So that's why almost always tend to go with the shield and shield guy head. Um, Exception with Boris, where you might want to go for a heavy chain gun.
yeah,
Um, Also with Yana, I've taken it with the long axe on one arm and scrap saw on the other, just for like crazy full-on melee damage. But yeah, I think I might have taken like a bombard and a shield with Boris as well before, or a cannon, and I think
mm,
that's the one that I got painted up has cannon and flash shield for Boris. Um, but generally, if you're going for a ranged heavy, you want to go for the great pair.
yeah.
You can cover now if you want.
Yep, so it's a field allowance of 4, points cost is 12, or you can max it out to 17. It's 34 hit points. Speed 4, Mat 7, Rat 5, and Defense 10, Armor 20. It's Bulldoze, which is base to base with an enemy model. During it can move 2 inches directly away. A model can be pushed by Bulldoze only once per turn. Bulldoze has no effects, but which we've already covered.
Yeah,
And it's the same. It's got dual attack. It's I forgot the
it's got
word.
unstoppable notably, and then all the power attacks that heavies come with.
Yeah,
Unstoppable is really nice to have without having to play the card because you can never stop it shooting or charging what it wants to by bogging it down.
yeah. So going into the head options, we've got head as aggressive for 2 points. Then we've got head mage static, which is 3 cost. Mage static spells cast by enemy models within 10 inches of this model suffer +1 cost and -3 range. I've yet to use that head option.
Yeah, that's a lot of points for a very situational ability.
And then we've got head reposition for two, and then we've got the
Yeah, I think that
gladiator.
used to be repo too, and they upped it, which is nice
Then we've got head slammer, which has gladiator on it for 1 point.
and also gives them the Grand Slam follow up that you can get on the
Yeah.
Avalanche.
And then we've going into the right arm weapon options. We've got the battle mace for 7 points. It's range 2, power 19. It's got beat back and critical smite.
I think it might be the highest power on a non-colossal
Yeah.
power 19.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It tends to be my go-to for Great Bear.
Really,
Um,
I've used it surprisingly little actually.
it's just nice when you want to get in there and maybe if you're running
Yeah,
two of them, just one is a heavy hitter and one is just a ranged attack.
yeah.
We've got right arm deep freeze, which I've yet to use. It's resistance to ice. It's cost of 8. It's range 14, rate of fire 1, AoE of 3, power 14 over 8. It's got critical freeze as well.
This is hilarious because it didn't used to have resistant cold as part of this. So if it shot something in melee with its deep freezer and got the crit, it freezes itself. So they had to add that.
Oh, it's
But
hilarious.
that's a really nice weapon actually. It's the longest range now since the heavy cannon got reduced,
Mm,
and it's the same cost. The power's not as high, but it's an AOE, so it's pretty popular with shooting options. Like if you want to take it with Boris or
mm.
any of your warcasters, really. Extra nice with Baronova for the her spell that gives you additional die to hit invocations of wrath.
Then we have the right arm grinder, cost of 7, range 10, rate of fire 2d3, AoE nothing, and power 12, and it also has volume fire on it. It's like the most go-to weapon for the Great Bear.
Yeah, I really like this. I take it quite a lot.
Mm.
It doesn't seem that good on paper until you play it and then realize 2d3 power 14s into another heavy. It's really nice.
And then we've got
Also,
the.
as I said with the
Oh, sorry.
Direwolf, having volume fire on a Rat 5 heavy ups your Rat to 6 or 7, which is really important.
Yeah. And then we've got the heavy cannons, range 12, rate of fire 1, power 16. Momentum is small or medium base model directly hit by this. Attacker slam T3 directly away from this model. The power of collateral damage is equal to the power of this weapon, in addition suffering a normal damage roll. Large base models hit by this attack become knocked down. It is funny watching, say, a little pig get hit by this, then knocking back into another pig, and then having a little bit of a damage from it.
Yeah,
So being able to kill
yeah,
two
it's
models in
really,
one
really
hit.
strong weapon, that one. Power 16 is really, really good.
Mm.
And you, I tend to take one in Boris lists at least,
Oh yeah.
sometimes two, but you use it to knock something down so all your other guns can just destroy it with a low rat and they're hitting defense 5 instead of 14 or whatever it was before.
And then we've got the left arm, which is the battle axe, is price of 5. It's range 1, power 18. It's got critical amputation. Then we've got the blasting fist. It's cost of 4. Range 1, power 17. It's got critical knockback. And it's got throw power attack. It's got the left arm dozer, which is cost of 6. Dozer is range 10, rate of fire 2, power 15, and beat back. And then we've got the left arm, the heavy cannon shield, which is cost of 6. It's range 6, rate of fire 1, power 14. It is a pistol weapon, and the shield gives you plus 2 to your armor. It's range 1 and power 14, which will put your armor up to 20.
22
22, sorry, yeah, I do
starts at
apologise.
20
I am
this one.
tired, so. But yeah, no, I love the Great Bear. I have 3 of them, so.
Yeah, same. Um, I, t- I used to take the shield all the time and really loved it for armor 22, but I've started to tend towards taking blasting fists to keep the cost down, or battle
Yeah,
axes to keep a bit of melee while I have like a grinder or heavy cannon on the other arm.
so
Having a
that's why
power 18 left arm is really, really nice.
I take the blasting fist if I'm going to take the cannon because it weighs out the price of the cannons,
Yeah, yeah, same.
especially at power 16. Oh, sorry.
For heads, unless I'm going for shooting, I always take aggressive.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like in that instance we just said with the cannon and the blasting fist, I might go for a slammer because the um, it does increase the slam distance of the weapon as well. Even though
Mm.
it's a ranged weapon, it doesn't have to be a slam power attack. Um, if you get the slam from momentum, and then it's the cheapest head, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my typical builds are like aggressive with a grinder and a battle axe, or the heavy cannon, either aggressive or slammer head, and a blasting fist to keep the cost down, as we said. Or you go, if you want the melee option, the battle mace and the heavy cannon shield and aggressive head. And that's like the hardest hitting heavy, probably, without any buffs on it. And it charges free, so you get full 3 focus to spend on smashing stuff with your power 19 mace.
Yeah. Right, then. Should we go into Medved's?
Medveditsa.
Yeah.
So she's based on a great bear. Medveditsa means mother bear in Russian, I believe.
Nice.
She has the same stats apart from she's mat 8 and speed 5 instead of 4. She has Pathfinder base, which the great bear doesn't have. She comes with a rule called Hand of Vengeance, which is on her, not on her head or anything, so it can't be removed. When one or more friendly faction warrior models are destroyed or removed from play by attacks within 5 of her, she gains +2 to melee attack and melee damage rolls for 1 round. So she goes from being mat 8 and power 18 to mat 10 and power 20
That's
with
just
no
done.
spells or buffs from your warcaster or anything like that. Her head gives her shield guard and grants chain attack, grab, and smash, which means she gets to headbutt or throw something after she hits it with both her claws. And her claws are open fists with buckler, so +1 armor, range 1, power 18s, so often power 20s. She's a really, really strong jack and only costs 15. She just does everything a little bit better. She's got a Pathfinder. She's got slightly higher armor. She's actually armor 22 because she has 2 bucklers as well. She's really often a good include in your list.
Yeah, I do want to grab that model at some point. It's just money.
It's kind of hard to get now since it's only in the army box.
Yeah.
I did get the army box, but it was before it was restricted to that, so it didn't matter too much back then. But yeah, she's really, really nice. Just goes with anything really, unless you need shooting, which she doesn't do. She'll work really well with any of these casters.
Oh yeah.
As with the direwolf having shield guard on it, really nice for some of these squishier casters. We said a lot of them with defense 15 armor 15 or 15 16, 16 15. Those very common stat lines. And her and direwolves can protect your casters until they're needed to go in as like a second wave. Really, really strong jack.
Right. We've covered Razor and the old Umbre video, so we're going to move straight onto the Macedon.
Yeah.
Field allowance 2, point cost 31, can be maxed up to 34. 62 hitboxes. Speed 5, mat 6, rat 4, defense 8, armor 20. It's 120mm base. It has headbutt power attack, Pathfinder, slam power attack, trample power attack, unstoppable. It also has trample as well.
Yeah.
It is a chunky boy. It's got heavy mortar standard. It's rat 6, range 16, rate of fire 1, AoE 4, power 16 over 9, arcing fire.
I'll just correct you. You said rat 6, it's rat 4.
Oh, I do apologise.
It's quite important to correct that one.
Otherwise, people might go, "This is really good."
They will
but
want
no.
to the first title.
Yeah.
Also have fire on that, so you can shoot over models.
It's just a really nice starting thing because that's not even part of like the weapon options at all.
Yeah, it's on the superstructure, so you still have like both arms and shoulders free.
Going in for the 2-point head, we've got fire support, which is +1 to your rat, I believe.
Yeah, it's only rat 4 as I just mentioned, so really kind of need it.
Yeah, going to rat 4 to rat 5. We've got the head shock assault, which is aggressive. So there's more.
That's otherwise a really nice ability, especially for free, 0 points.
Oh yeah.
But with Colossals, with the point investment, it's a third of your army pretty much. You don't want to be just throwing it in straight
Mm.
away just because you've got aggressive and can charge free. You often want to keep it back, get the most you can out of his shooting, and then commit it because it's going to trash anything in melee anyway, isn't it? So you don't need
Yeah.
like the extra focus that you're saving from aggressive.
And then we've
Um,
got. Oh, sorry.
yeah, you just tend to want to pay the extra 2 points for the fire support head, really.
Mm. Especially with that +1 extra to rat as well.
Yeah,
So
it just you're going to keep it out of melee as long as you can,
yeah.
and and shoot as long as you can, so that you don't lose your 30-point model. So it's worth investing the extra 2 points.
So both right and left shoulders now. Just do them all together. We've got deep freezer, which is
Yeah,
range
they're both the
14.
same, so you can just
Yeah,
cover one.
yeah. So it's range 14, rate of fire 1, AOE 3, power 14 over 18. It's got critical freeze on it. I have noticed the symbol, so I'm assuming that it got rusted at some point because it fired this and it froze itself.
Um, I think this might have come out after that correction, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay then. Yeah. We've also got the right shoulder mounted heavy cannon. It's
so that
range.
that one was the deep freezer, and then the heavy cannon. They're both
Yeah.
the same as the great bear weapons.
Oh, okay then. That's fine then. So yeah, you could have up to two mounted heavy cans. I don't have a Mastodon. I do want one because I think the model looks amazing.
Yeah, so
And then you've got the right arm weapons, which is the chain axe. It's range 3, power 23, and critical shred. Um, so yeah, sorry, that was the chain axe. And then you've got the great axe, which is range 3, power 24. They're the same cost. I personally go for the great axe because I don't see the point in having the critical shred, especially at power
yeah, I mean,
24.
if you hit most things, they're going to die. So
Yeah.
either way, you get an initial attack, but with the axe, you have to work for it by rolling the crit. And with sorry, with the chain axe, you need the crit to get the extra attack, but you can get it more than once.
Yeah, and
Probably don't
then
want to be boosting just for that, but
no,
hey
and
ho.
then
But
with
with
the oh sorry, you're going to cover
the
the
great axe,
cleave.
you're going to get an extra attack by cleaving anyway, and it's a
Mm.
higher power, same cost. So you might as well go for that one.
Oh, of course. And then going to the left arm options, we've got the Dozer Fist. It's cost 10. It is a pistol weapon. It is range 10, rate of fire 2, power 15. It's got beat back, and it's got a fist, which is the open fist, and it's range 2, power 21, which is relatively good. And then we've got the Grinder Fist, which is range 10, rate of fire 2d3, power 12. It's a pistol shot again, and it's got the open fist ability, and it's range 2, power 21. Well, that's a hard
Yeah,
one
so
for the right left arm options because I don't know if I want the dozer first or I take the grinder first. No, I take the dozer.
um, I'll tend to go with the grinder one because of the low rat again. Having volume fire on it boosts your rat up to 6 or 7 instead of 5,
Oh yeah, actually no, that's a good
assuming you
point.
take the head. And the power kind of goes up almost as high as well if you're shooting against large bases to 14, except you get
Mm.
2d3 shots instead of 2. Um, I, we didn't cover it on the Great Bear, but dozers aren't the most impressive weapons to me. They're kind of middling for range weapons. Range 10 means you're going to be in shooting, charging threat of most things. I mean, you are on the grinder as well, but you pumping out a lot of shots.
Mm.
Also, having pistol on the grinder is really nice because you can clear off loads of stuff in front of you while you're
Oh
in melee.
yeah. Okay, because you're not going to get bulked down by too many if you're getting like a lot of models coming in and crowding you, so that way you can get yourself out of combat by just sweep of the fist type thing.
So sorry guys, we've gone on a bit long. We'll cut it short there, and we'll cover the solos and units on another day on another podcast. It's getting really late for us. So yeah, we'll come back and cover those for you another time. I hope you enjoyed that one. Feel free to like and subscribe. Um, Consider the Patreon as well.
Yeah.
And I should say as well, my baby's due the day after tomorrow, so I'll probably be taking a bit of break for the podcast. But best of luck to you guys, Robin, Maz, and Mike.
Yep. We'll keep your
Um,
seat very
yeah,
well.
catch you again soon.
Yep. Catch you guys later. Bye.